This lesson is meant to be a refresher for you on how to convert units using the metric system. And I know that you've learned this in a previous class, so it's going to go pretty quick. If you need more information than what you get from this lesson, be sure to ask me in class. Now, the metric system is based on three main units, namely meters, liters, and grams. Meters to measure length, liters to measure volume, and grams to measure mass. And then we use prefixes related to that main unit. The first one is the kilo or kilo, and that represents 1,000 of your main units. The next one is the hecto, which is 100 of your main units. And then the next one is a deca, which is 10 of your main units. Smaller than the main unit would be the deci, which is a tenth of your unit. The centa, which is 1/100th of your unit. And then the milli, which is 1/1000th of your main unit. And these are basically the range we're going to stay in. Now, the nice part about the metric system and what makes it so easy to use is that we don't have to use the unit conversion factor method that we saw in the last lesson to do our conversions. Because everything here is based on units of 10, we get to just move decimal points. That's what happens when we multiply or divide. Now, these prefixes and their order can be remembered with a mnemonic. This is a way to help you remember them. Kangaroos hopping down mountains, drinking chocolate milk. Let's break that down. So kangaroos, starting with a K, is to help you remember that kilo. Hopping is for hecto. Deca, that goes with the down. Mountains is to help you remember your main unit goes in the middle there. And then drinking chocolate milk, D, C, and M are for deca, centa, and milli. So this is to help you know how to move that decimal point. Let's take a look at an example. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert 15.6 kilometers to meters. Now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to first write down my little acronym, kangaroos hopping down mountains, there's my main unit, drinking chocolate milk. Now here's what I do. I first start by looking at my starting unit, and in this case it's kilometers. I have kilometers, and my new unit that I'd like to get to is meters. So I'm going to start with kilometers here, and I'm going to move or jump to meters, counting the jumps as I go. That's 1, 2, 3 jumps. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm simply going to write down my decimal point, my 15.6 kilometers, and I'm going to move that decimal point 1, 2, 3 jumps in the same direction. So there's the first, second, and the third. Now you'll see that I have to fill in some empty spaces. Those get filled in with zeros. And so now my decimal point has moved to right here. So that 15.6 kilometers would be 15,600, there's my decimal point, meters. Alright, so I determined my starting unit. I went to my chart and I counted how many jumps from my starting unit of kilometers to my ending unit, the one I want, which was meters, and I moved that decimal point in the same number of jumps in the same direction to get my answer. Let's try it with a couple more. All right, now definitely we need to have our little acronym here, so let's get it down again. That's kangaroos hopping down mountains, drinking chocolate milk, or kilo, hecto, deca, your main unit, deci, centi, and milli. All right, so here we go. We're going to convert 300 milligrams into grams. So this is where I start. I start with the milligrams, and I'm going to get to the grams. That's my new unit. In my chart, I'm going to start here with my milligrams, and I'm going to count back to the main unit. Notice there's no prefix here, so that's the main unit. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 jumps back. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with my number. 300, here's the decimal. We're going to move it 1, 2, 3 jumps back. So it's going to be right there. So I put my answer as 0.300, or just 0.3 works. All right, let's try that with another one. Next example. What are we going to start at? Looks like liters to start. That's a main unit. There isn't a prefix, so that's our main unit of liters. We're going to move to milliliters. All right, so starting with our main unit of liters, moving to milliliters looks like 1, 2, 3 jumps forward. Let's take our 2.2 and move that decimal 1, 2, 3 jumps forward. So filling in with zeros, looks like 2200. 2,200 milliliters. Okay, last example and then a few for you to try on your own. We're looking at centimeters to start here. We're going to move into kilometers. So centimeters I find here, and kilometers is way back here. So I'm going to be moving backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps back. So let's look at this one. We've got 1650 and our decimal point is here at the end. We're going to move it 5 jumps back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so here's the new decimal point and I get to fill in one spot with a 0. So it's 0.0165, and you can leave the last 0 off if you want or put it on if you like. Okay, you try these 3 on the try these, and this should be the way you handle the metric system. Use the easy route.